Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah! We got it! We got it!
You 52 booklets.
Somebody clip this one.
Welcome to Comics League Justice League Rewatch. I'm Jared. I'm here with my old friend Nick from the Phoenix Press. What's up, brother?
Crom!
Yeah, exactly. I was getting that vibe from this one. So we're talking about chaos at the Earth's core, otherwise known as, well, first off, Gamera versus the Gamera versus the Justice League. Thank you. Like, you know, it's kind of funny. So Nick sent me a clip today that was like, here's Gamera, here's the opening scene of Gamera, and I was like, okay, that's random. Why are you sending me this? So when I plug up this episode, 5 minutes, I was like, oh, okay, that's why.
I mean, it's a very obvious homage to Gamera. Like, he acts like it. He has a lot of the moves.
He transforms into a flying shell,
which Gamera does.
Mm-hmm. You could say he's a mutant ninja turtle. Hey, this isn't Discord. So this is kind of an interesting episode because it deals with like it's sort of a fame competition between Supergirl and Stargirl. And can I just say, I love how there was an entire convention in Japan just for Supergirl.
I gotta say, like, okay, they got her in a more classic outfit. She feels like an entirely different character. I gotta be honest with you. Like,
a little bit, outfit. Yeah.
She's acting like an entirely different character. I'm sorry. I mean, I didn't mind the old Supergirl, and like, truth be told, this version was fine. But I don't know. It feels like an entirely different character. Like, if you tell me it's like a shape-shifting alien, I believe you.
Oh, this is Matrix Supergirl. I think
he got the reference.
Yeah. And you know, it's kind of funny. I would have said, well, this would take place time after Superman, but Supergirl showed up in like one of the early episodes of Unlimited, and she acted like the consistent form of Supergirl.
She was in several episodes of season 1. Like, she was featured very heavily in season 1 of Unlimited. Yeah.
So
I mean, heck, she got a shout out in the Christmas episode of Justice League. It said, "Oh, her and Barbara are off skiing."
Yeah, and John Jones, like, and Wonder Woman is secretly washing shoe with Superman this holiday season. Yeah, I had to. That's my thing, ladies and gents. That's my thing. And so they're flying back to Justice League HQ, and then they get pulled into the center of the Earth.
I love how Supergirl is getting flying lessons. Like,
why can't we just fly straight home?
Over the North Pole is the straightest route, rookie.
Why?
Where they discover the lizard people and apparently run everything. I thought about that one conspiracy theory that like the government is run by lizard people when I was watching this episode for some reason. And then where else than Justice League can you get dinosaurs
with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads?
Apparently, you've never watched Kung Fury.
Then we meet Conan the Barbarian, otherwise known as Travis Morgan, who's an Air Force pilot that was shot down, went through the portal, and just hung out and became a warlord. And you know what? I kind of would do the same thing in these circumstances.
Especially if you had those two hot ladies flanking you.
One was his daughter, so let's not be creepy. Let's not be a Bruce Timm here. I had to. Another thing I noticed, and this is really funny, in this episode, have you noticed how Supergirl with her sword kills people? she's swinging that sword, and it makes a sound of like metal hitting flesh. So I'm like, she's clearly hitting with the sharp side. So what are you doing, guys?
Oh, here's the other thing I noticed that even the trivia didn't pick up on. Deimos is an obvious Christopher Lee homage.
I've been looking forward to this.
For two reasons. One,
Yeah, go ahead.
the voice actor is clearly doing Christopher Lee. Also, the character model for Deimos looks like Christopher Lee.
So you could say, I will.
No,
So-
Jared, do you agree?
Yes, I do. It can only be completed if Jon Stewart goes, my powers have doubled since the last time we met, Count.
Oh, good. Twice the pride, double the fall.
Of course.
You were hoping I'd pick up on
I
that.
was hoping you would get it, and you just went off it. So, and
I
this
love it, brother.
episode, the other thing I like about this episode is that and again, this kind of plays off of we're focusing on characters other than the original 7. Yeah, Green Lantern is here, but he's not the protagonist. Let's face it, Stargirl is the protagonist of this episode.
Well, this is like one of those Justice League Unlimited episodes where it's like, hey, let's take this really obscure, honestly, even Justice League did this too. Let's take this really obscure comic and let's do an episode tribute to it. Like the Black Hawks, they did it, and like with a couple of like Super Friends, they kind of. Oh, speaking of Super Friends, did you notice the opening title sequence, like with the stars? Like, didn't it look like a transition to you?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
That was very much the Super Friends like transition stars. I mean, I gotta feel like it was like, but they do this all the time, and you know what? I love it. I love it when they do this.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, and that's one of the strengths this show has is all the even obscure DC references. It's chock full of them to the level of a Snyder movie, which obviously I enjoy that. I had to reference Zack Snyder. That's my obligatory reference.
What? You're saying that you appreciate in Man of Steel they have a Colonel Ferris?
Yes, and if Zach,
I don't like it because of the implications, but I appreciate the or how having what is it? Ted Cord is in there or in there in.
I think they reference Cord, but if you're talking about the Atom, they reference Ryan Cho.
That's who I was thinking of.
Ryan Choi, director of nanotechnology. That's your thing.
Oh, yep. That's my thing.
He was supposed to get a movie in the Snyderverse.
And I think that was kind of the point of put him in there like that.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, back to this. Because as much as I would love to continue to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League, we have to get back to this version of Justice League.
Oh, man.
And it's kind of funny, and I kind of wonder. You notice that a lot of these character models resembled like Red Sonja. Like there's clearly a redhead with a sword and the loincloth and bikini. I'm like, I see what you're doing here. By the way, this is the final.
I mean, a lot of these characters are very Conan-esque. Like they knew what they were doing.
By the way, this is the final appearance of Metallo in the DCAU.
And for the final appearance, they did bring back Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah, I dig that. That's great. The world of Skartaris and its inhabitants are all taken from Mike Rowe's Warworld comics from the 1970s. In the comics, Skartaris is located in the hollow center of the earth, kind of like Godzilla versus King Kong. In the DCAU, the earth is not
all connected.
In the DCAU, the earth is not hollow. According to McDuffie and Timm, Skartaris is located in a pocket dimension. Okay, that makes sense. If you didn't want to like really complicate the whole hollow earth theory.
Yeah.
And by this is the first appearance of Supergirl's new costume, and I'm guessing she'll keep that throughout the season.
Yeah.
And this is the first time Supergirl and Metallo have actually encountered each other. And
it's
I'm like,
really weird.
Yeah, I was about to say, you would think that they would have encountered each other earlier because how tied they are to Superman. It's kind of interesting there. By the way, the Turtle Kaiju, the League battles in the opening is an homage to Gamera, as well as an issue of Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, which Jimmy Olsen is transformed into a giant turtle man. Like, of course, as indicated by the red hair and the turtle's design. Oh, God. It's going to only happen in the Silver Age, my friend. Silver Age.
I mean, like, there's literally, and I remember, like, seeing this cover of a Jimmy Olsen Man's Pal, where Jimmy Olsen got turned into a werewolf, and the only way he could get cured is by getting kissed by a girl.
Well, at least he has an excuse.
So,
hey, Diana,
yes, that was literally an episode.
Yeah, Stripe's look has been redesigned with his suit now smaller and more streamlined. Yeah, I didn't notice that it's not as bulky as it was in the earlier seasons, which I kind of like.
I mean, like, originally it was more of like mech armor, you know, kind of closer to the live action TV show version. Yeah, except 20 years earlier. But this one, it's more of like an Iron Man type armor.
By the way, I liked when Stargirl was talking to that one anime fan. She goes, "My uncle's a mecha," and then the anime fan's like, "Mecha's boring." And I'm like, "Oh boy, you're about to piss off a lot of anime fans." Jeez.
Congratulations, you just pissed off an entire country.
So now Bruce Timm has pissed off an entire country and an entire fan base. He's 2 for 2.
This guy's really good at pissing people off.
He knows how to piss people off, particularly the Batman fandom. The episode's title is a reference to the novel At the Earth's Core, written by Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Classic.
Yeah, and I enjoyed like the epic Lord of the Rings style battle in this, which again, Supergirl kind of kills in this. And when I was watching this, I was like,
no,
where's the
a
outrage?
super person does not kill. They do not kill.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, but which is why I'm going to clip this scene. And if anyone on Twitter tells me that in the DCAU they didn't kill, I will send that scene and go, "You said they don't kill in the DCAU."
Oh, you need to do it one better. You need to gifify it. So, you know, you need to actually gifify it. Because, like, Twitter, they deboost videos. But you have a GIF, that is awesome.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. That'll be my first Twitter meme. I'll have the Will Smith one where he's like, I have this whole thing planned out. I'm going to do this. But again, all in all, I like this. By the way, I liked, again, how they handled the whole Supergirl thing, because obviously with someone with the powers of a god, i.e. a Kryptonian, she could, like, strong-arm this entire army, but they depowered her, which it also makes sense, because if you look at the sun and the dimension, it's kind of red-ish, so it makes sense that she'd be depowered. So they depowered her, so it's not like she can solo everyone.
I mean, it did kind of help her, because remember that comment she made where she said, "If I was at full strength, that thing would have killed me."
Yeah, it did help her as well in that. But I'm saying I liked how they handled that, because that is always a concern when you have God characters. So it's like, I'm like, okay, I appreciate that. So all in all, I really enjoyed this one. I give it a solid, I'd say 9 out of 10. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. Action solid, animation, art, everything's awesome. Dialogue is awesome. All in all, pretty fun. How about you, Nick?
9.5.
Ooh.
This is one of the rare instances where I rate an episode higher than you.
Ooh, well, of course. Well, let me put it to you this way. Anyone that watched our coverage of Avatar Season 3, that was the entire show. I had to reference that. Now, as for our next episode that we are going to watch, we are going to be watching next week, watching and reacting to another Shore, a Wonder Woman-centered episode. Yes. And we also meet a very...
Let's hope Batman shows up.
No, we meet a very obscure DC character named Viking Prince. Which, oh boy, I love me some Vikings.
Wonder Viking?
Don't you dare. So anyway,
I've already started.
Let me end this before I strangle Nick. So,
yes, he's going to reach out with the Force and choke me from across.
You have failed me for the last time, Captain Keto. So,
see, you just did it.
Stay heroic, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane, and she belongs with General Zod. Zoe is for life.